If you're ready to learn 5 easy card tricks, let's get started. I think this is one of the best card tricks you can perform. You bring out a deck of cards and then you take some cards off the top here. You ask a spectator to remember one of the cards. We're going to call this one number 1, this one number 2, and this one number 3. Now let's say they pick number 2, which is the 5 of hearts. At this point, as the magician, you will not know that they picked the 5 of hearts. In fact, you can have the spectator mix the deck up ahead of time before you perform this trick. So you truly do not know what this is. You just know they picked number 2 or the second card. Place them all in, and then you count 1, 2. Now, seemingly lost in the deck, you're now going to perform the magic. You're going to take your finger and charge it up with some massive amounts of static electricity. And with that, it's going to help you perform a trick here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and the card rises from the deck. Here's how to do the rising card. Now, for purposes of explanation here, we're going to use the Ace of Hearts, 2 of Hearts, and 3 of Hearts, which should make it a little easier to learn the trick and understand it. Although in actually performing the trick, you'll just use a mixed deck. These 3 cards could be any 3 cards. So let me show you how this works. Once again, we have the Ace, 2, and 3 to represent 1, 2, and 3. They're just underneath, and then a card is on top. Here's the setup. When you display the cards in a fan, what you do is you pull out the top card and then pull out the next 3 cards, just like this. And by holding your thumb here, you can actually hold a fan of these 3 cards. Now let me show you from the other side. As you can see, we have our Ace, 2, and 3 representing 1, 2, and 3. Now what spectators don't know is, from this perspective, this is your perspective, you have an extra card on top. But when you show this to the spectators, all they see is the top, what they think are the top 3 cards. And that's when you ask them to remember one of the cards. We're going to call this one 1, this one 2, and this one 3. Then let's say they pick 2, which would be the 2 of Hearts. From the back perspective, you take and gather the cards, push them down. But what spectators don't know is there's an extra card here. Now, our spectator in this case chose 2. So that's when you count 1. But see, this is a different card, whatever it is. Just happened to be a 2 of diamonds. And you place it in the deck. Take the second card. They think this is their card, the 2 of Hearts. But it is not. It's actually the Ace. That goes in the deck, but the spectators now think that their card has been lost inside of the deck. What they don't know is that their selected card, the second one, is actually on top of the deck. And that's the setup. The spectator's selected card is automatically on top of the deck. And actually you can do this technique for any find a card trick. Now we're ready for the second part, the levitation or rise of the card. Here's where you make the cards seemingly rise out of the deck. Take your finger with your right hand. Remember your card, spectator's card, is on top. And you count 1, 2, 3. And on 3, you extend the pinky right here. And now to make the card rise, you press down with the pinky and the card goes up with it. And draw out the card, and you can show that it's their card, the 2 of Hearts. So once again, it's 1, 2, 3. Pinky is extended. Push the pinky into the card. and cause the card to rise up, and then grab it and show the 2 of hearts. And that is the rising card trick. To find a card and create a royal flush, you use any deck of cards. To start, you take out a royal flush of any suit of your choosing. I happen to have chose the diamonds here. Gather up your royal flush and turn it over. Now take a 5, it could be of any suit, place it on top of your royal flush, and place all this at the bottom of the deck. So what you'll have at the bottom of your deck is a royal flush in a suit and a face-up 5. Show you from the other direction here. Now you're ready to begin the trick. You have a spectator select a card. Remember, don't go too far down, otherwise they might see that face-up card. In this case, we're going to say they selected the Queen of Spades. Have them show the card around, place it on top of the deck, and then you just give it a cut, apparently losing their card at the deck. What's happened is when you cut the cards, that means the 5 and its 5 cards are on top of the spectator's card, just due to your setup. So at this point, you just go through the cards looking for something and say, aha, there's a face-up 5. That always tells me something. I can count 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after that, the next card will be your card, which it is. And now for phase 2, you can turn over each card that was in between and show a complete royal flush. Here's how to perform the counting card trick. All you'll need is a deck of standard cards. There is a setup ahead of time. What you do is take out the 1 through 10 of one suit. So here I've used the hearts. So I have 1 through 10, ace through 10 of the hearts, and they're arranged with the ace in front and the 10 in the back. This goes on the bottom of the deck. So once again, we have ace through 10, and then we have the rest of the cards, whatever order they happen to be in. Now, a spectator randomly selects a card, and it really is random, so you can offer the deck to have a card selected. In this case, we're going to say that they picked the Queen of Spades. Have the deck resting on the table. Make sure you haven't changed the order. Ace is on the bottom, ace through 10. You have the spectator take their card, place it on top of the deck, and then you ask them to lose the card by cutting. So they can cut the deck. And at this point, this is where you say that the cards will be under the spectator's control. Turn the deck face up, and then you ask the spectator to cut. Now you have them cut continually. It might take a while. Sometimes you can have several cuts. But eventually, one of your hearts will appear. One of your ace through 10 of hearts will appear. And at this point, you stop and say, you've been cutting the cards, mixing it up. Wouldn't it be amazing? I see the number 3. And then you have them count from the top. 1, 2, 3, and it will be their card. Now this works for any of the hearts. Let's say you happen to see the number 7 was the one that they had cut to. Then you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again that would be their card. And this is the counting card trick. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. I like it because the spectator has the cards in their control, and seemingly they've arranged the deck so it reveals their hidden card. Here's how to do the spell to a card trick. You use an ordinary deck of cards, and for the purposes here, we're going to say that the ace of spades is on the bottom of the deck. Now, in practice, you can always use the ace of spades if you like, but you could have the spectator shuffle the deck, and then whatever card is on the bottom, if you just remember it, then you can use that card. But for purposes of explanation, we're going to say the bottom card's the ace of spades. And again, you're welcome to, in practice, when you're performing the trick, always have the ace of spades on the bottom. So what you do is you have a card selected, and in this case, we're going to say the spectator selected the 10 of clubs. Now, when the spectator is showing the card around, here's a good time for you to look through the deck, and you can actually take your ace of spades and put it on the bottom, or you can just casually glance at the bottom card, whatever it is you want to do. Now, as the spectator shows the card, you place the deck on the table. Ask your spectator to place the card on top and then give it a cut, or you can give it a cut to place the card somewhere near the middle. Now comes the spelling part. You tell the spectator that you're not sure where the card is or what it is, but by trying to read their minds, you're going to go through the deck and see if you can get an impression of their card. Now, what you're doing here is you're just looking for your ace of spades, and there's the ace of spades there. Obviously, you're not telling the spectators that, but once you spot the ace of spades, you can look at the card in front of it, which is the 10 of clubs, and then you know their card. Now, remember how I was showing you, you're just kind of going through the cards, looking for your ace of spades. Once you find it, now you know the card in front of it is the 10 of clubs. That's the spectator's card. Now you begin to spell. Spell in your mind. TENOFCLUBS. And then just at this point, you just place the rest of the cards on the front, and you could just say something like, gosh, I just didn't seem to get much of an impression. But I have one more thing up my sleeve. Ask them to tell you the cards. They're going to say 10 of clubs. And now you've positioned the cards so their 10 of clubs is at the point where you spell 10 of clubs. So let's spell it TENOFCLUBS, and it'll be the 10 of clubs. Works for any card. That's the spell to a card trick. Here's a card trick, and the technique has a lot of applications for other tricks. You notice that I've got this big card on me here. You don't play solitaire in a phone booth with this baby, let me tell you. Jokes aside, I don't know why I'm wearing this card on a clip on my shirt. It's just the way I roll. And I have with me here a deck of cards. Now, we can shuffle the cards and such. Let me just give it a quick shuffle here. And I do want to show you there's all kinds of cards. So, different cards. Now, we're going to do something kind of interesting to try and select a card. I'm going to ask you, the spectator, to cut just a few cards from the top, maybe less than 10. So, let's say your spectator cuts the cards, and I want you to turn them face up. Done. Now for the second cut, we're going to cut a little deeper into the deck. So we ask the spectator again to cut maybe about halfway down and turn the cards over. Now the spectator's done all the cutting, and then you tell the spectator to go through the deck and look for the first face down card. Happens to be this one. And this card happens to be the 10 of hearts. Now, is there any relevance to a 10 of hearts? Well, it turns out that I do have this card on my shirt here. And, oh, what do you know? It just happens to be the 10 of hearts. Here's how to do the trick. Here's how to perform the prediction. Now, in this case, I'm using a giant card, which I think is kind of fun. You do not need a giant card. All you need to do is get a piece of paper, write your card, a playing card on it, whatever you would like, because the spectator does not have a choice of the card they're selecting. In this case, I'm using 10 of hearts. I'm using a jumbo card. Again, just write 10 of hearts or whatever card you want to use on a piece of paper. Have it face down or folded up. To perform the trick, all you need to do is find your card, which happens in this case to be the 10 of hearts, whatever card you want to use. I'll take the 10 of hearts, take the 10 of hearts, place it on top of the deck, and you're ready to begin the trick. You bring out something, a folded piece of paper with the name of a playing card on it, or you can just have another playing card of a different color, or as I did here, the jumbo card. Remember your card. 10 of hearts is on top, which matches your card for the end. Now you're ready for the trick. Now what you're going to do is ask the spectator to cut a few cards off the top and turn them face up, which I've done here. Phase 2. You ask the spectator cut a little more cards in the deck and turn it over again. At this point, you tell the spectator that they have mixed the cards in all kinds of different directions, and you want them to go through the deck and find the first face down card, which they do, and this face down card will be the card that was originally on top, which matches your prediction. Well, I hope you have fun performing these card tricks for your friends and family. Please give us a like and please subscribe for more instructional magic videos in the future. Thank you for watching. See you next time.